In every century, there is a Faust who believes he bargains only with nature until he discovers the bargain was made with himself. Oppenheimer did not merely split an atom, he split the human excuse from the human soul. There are sins that arrive with a shout, blood on the hands, smoke in the hair, the crude certainty of violence. And there are sins that arrive softly, on paper, in equations, in polite rooms lit by lamps, where the air smells of chalk and ambition. You may believe that the greatest transgression is to destroy a city, but I will tell you something more modern and therefore more frightening: to persuade oneself that knowledge is innocence. For the scholar, you see, rarely begins with hatred. He begins with longing, an almost religious thirst for order, for clarity, for the secret grammar behind the world's rough speech. He wishes to read nature as one reads a noble poem, line by line, rhythm by rhythm, convinced that understanding is the same as reverence. And thus he grows up in the temple of reason, surrounded by instruments that glitter like vows. He learns to think with exquisite precision, to cut the fog of the unknown into measurable shapes. He becomes a man admired for his mind until he starts to confuse admiration with absolution. Do you know this temptation? You do. Every age flatters its brightest sons with the same seductive whisper: "You are necessary." And when war darkens the horizon, when fear becomes a climate and history begins to speak in urgency, this whisper turns into a command: hurry, build, solve, save us. So the scholar accepts a task that feels at first like duty. He tells himself, if I do not do it, another will. He tells himself, if we finish first, fewer will suffer. He tells himself, this is not vanity, it is prevention. Ah, how elegantly the human soul can dress its desires. Yet even then, a quieter voice asks, like a timid guest at a loud banquet, and what if the thing you build outlives the reason you built it? But the banquet is too loud, and the age is too hungry, and the scholar, still believing himself clean, returns to his work. Now, imagine the desert. Not merely a place, but a symbol. A vast, honest emptiness where there are no curtains to soften reality. Under a sky too wide for excuses, they gather, men of numbers and nerves, bearing the pieces of a new fire. They speak in calm tones, they write on boards, they check and recheck. And yet beneath their composure pulses something feverish, the intoxicating nearness of a forbidden answer. They are not wicked men in the manner of melodrama. They are sober, disciplined, even gentle at times. And that is why the scene is so terrible. Because it shows you that catastrophe does not always require monsters. It can be assembled by earnest faces doing excellent work. Night after night, the desert wind moves over their camp like a silent judge. The lamps glow. The calculations multiply. The mind becomes a forge. And the scholar, Oppenheimer, the name history will repeat, walks among them with the restless gait of one who cannot fully belong to ordinary life, because his thoughts live elsewhere, in realms where consequences are still abstract. But nature is patient. Nature waits until abstraction becomes matter. Then comes the moment, a flash. So sudden it feels like creation performed without permission. Not simply light, but proclamation. A new sun born at the bidding of human intellect. For a breath there is awe. For another breath there is triumph. And in the third breath, if the soul is still awake, there is dread. You have heard of beauty that frightens. This is beauty that condemns. The scholar watches the glow and discovers a terrible truth. The mind can be brilliant and still be blind. The hand can be skilled and still be guilty. For what is genius when it becomes merely a tool for the age's impatience? The age will decorate the deed with speeches and flags and neat explanations. But nature has no interest in our labels. Nature answers only with consequences. And now, the weapon, once a thought, meets the world. Here, the scholar's tragedy begins in earnest. For the mind that could imagine the invisible now cannot escape images. Cities are not numbers. People are not variables. A roof, a window, a child's hand on a morning table. These things do not fit into equations without screaming. The scholar may be far away, yet conscience travels faster than any aircraft. It arrives without knocking. It sits down beside him in the quiet hour and places before him a single, unbearable question. If you can do a thing, does that make you right? Modern man worships the possible. He bows before feasible as if it were a moral virtue. But feasibility is only strength, and strength without wisdom is merely a more efficient form of ruin. Do not misunderstand me. I do not speak as a naive moralist who believes the world can be purified by a sermon. I speak as one who has watched the human heart bargain with itself. For the scholar too is human. He is capable of tenderness. He is capable of fear. He is capable, most dangerously, of rationalization. He will tell himself again, the war ended sooner. He will tell himself, it would have happened anyway. He will tell himself, the blame is shared. And perhaps it is. Indeed, perhaps the most honest sentence is this: an age commits its sins through its finest instruments. For the scholar is not alone. He is surrounded by applause, by officials, by admirers who praise his bravery while quietly enjoying the protection his work provides. They adore him so long as he produces certainty. But the moment his conscience begins to speak, softly, inconveniently, his admirers grow cold. Here is the cruelty of civilized judgment. It is polite. He is called to rooms where the air is clean and the words are sharper than knives. He is asked to explain, to clarify, to submit. And the scholar learns another bitter truth. Society loves the mind as long as the mind is obedient. When the mind becomes moral, society calls it unstable. How Faust-like, is it not? First, the pact. Give us your brilliance, and we will give you purpose. Then, the payment. Now silence that conscience, for it disturbs our order. The scholar's punishment is not dramatic. It is slow. It is the erosion of identity. It is the feeling that one's greatest achievement has become a shadow that follows everywhere, even into sleep. And what does he do then, this modern Faust? He does what many do when their pride has been stripped. He tries to speak plainly. He warns. He urges restraint. He pleads for limits. But the age that tasted dominion is not easily sobered. Once a civilization learns it can command the elements, it begins to desire more command, not less. The invention, born under the banner of necessity, becomes an heirloom of ambition. So we arrive at the heart of the matter, the thing you came here to feel. Oppenheimer's sin is not simply that he helped make a bomb. History has always been inventive in death. His sin, and our shared modern sin, is more intimate. He believed that understanding would ennoble us. He believed that if the mind reached high enough, the soul would naturally follow. But the soul does not rise by equations. It rises by humility, by restraint, by the difficult art of saying no. Not everything we can do should be done. This is the ancient lesson dressed in modern clothing. Prometheus steals fire and is punished, not because fire is evil, but because the theft reveals a hunger in man that does not know when to stop. And yet, listen, do not seek comfort in simple condemnation. Simple condemnation is cheap, and Goethe would never trust it. For if we call the scholar a monster, we excuse ourselves too quickly. We forget how human he was, how sincere, how seduced by necessity, how eager to serve, to solve, to matter. The true terror is that the scholar could be many of us, given the right praise, the right fear, the right urgency. So I ask you, directly, as if across a candlelit table, if your century demanded a miracle and promised it would save lives and flattered your mind and placed urgency at your throat like a hand, would you have refused? Or would you too have stepped into the desert and lit the new sun, and later, when the applause faded, discovered that the real trial begins only after triumph? For power does not liberate, it binds. And the harshest chain is the one no one sees, the chain that links a single brilliant thought to 1,000 uncountable consequences. So let this story remain what it truly is, not a tale of a weapon, but a portrait of modern man at the edge of his own genius, staring into the light he created and realizing too late that light can cast the darkest shadow.